There are 3 AI agents worth building right now for your business, but be careful because if you build these in the wrong order, you will spend months fixing them rather than actually using them. I know this because I have seen this happen time and time again. My name is Elijah and I help non-technical founders build and actually use AI operating systems for their businesses. My team and I have done this for over 75 business owners and almost every single one of them made the same exact mistake when getting started. By the end of this video, you will learn how to build and use your own company brain, a quality gate, and a correction logger. Each one makes the next one possible, and if you flip the order, you are going to have half-working agents that don't actually produce anything for your business.
Now, this first agent is your company brain, and its entire job is to know every single thing about your business. This is the most important agent you will ever have for your business, hence why it's the first one we are starting with. Think of it as the source of truth of your entire company. And this is important because most people's AI have no clue who they are or what their business is. Every single time you open a new Claude chat or a new ChatGPT chat or Manus, whatever you use, each new session or chat completely forgets whatever you did the day before, even earlier that day, a week before, it doesn't matter. All of that memory is wiped as soon as that chat closes. This hurts a lot of people because it's like consulting a new stranger about your business every single day. So to set up your brain, it's going to need a couple of things. First is going to be, who are your clients? This could be customers, doesn't have to be clients, but it needs to know exactly who your clients are in your ICP or who your customers are in your ICP. It also needs to know what you sell. What service do you provide? What products do you sell? How often do they change? Do they have a product cycle, or is it the same service, or does it never change? What is the price for your service? What is the price for your product? Is it a physical product? Is it a digital product? All the information you have about your product or service, whatever applies to you, you want to provide to this brain. Again, this is going to be the source of truth. Number 3 is how you talk. It needs to understand either your personal voice, if you have like a personal brand that's associated with your business, or your brand voice. And for some of you who have clients, let's say you run an agency, it needs to understand each of your clients' voice plus your agency voice. Although you might not be posting content on behalf of your agency, it still needs to understand your own company's voice. Number 4 is, what does good look like for all of your processes, all of your outputs? Let's say you draft content, let's say you draft ads, let's say you make websites. No matter what it is, you need to have documented examples of what you associate as good and what you associate as bad. Now, once you front load it with that information, again, we're talking about your brain, the more you use it, the more it's going to compound and get better over time. And last but not least are going to be the rules that you never break. I like to call these your golden rules. So every time you have AI generate an output on your behalf or on your company's behalf or on your client's behalf, it runs that output against these golden rules to make sure that nothing breaks rules that you have set. The easiest example I can come up with is profane language, whether it's your business or a client. If you don't use profane language, that needs to be a golden rule so no output ever contains profanity. Now keep in mind, these rules don't have to be as simple as not cussing. They apply to everything across the board. This can be compliance rules. This could be not mentioning competitors. Or my favorite one, banning the use of all M-dashes. Now I want to be 100% clear. All of these things need to be written down, every last one. If it is not written down, the AI cannot read it, cannot analyze it. Everything needs to be grounded in an actual file on your machine. Now, your AI brain is going to consist of a couple of different things, but the primary source of information is going to be a document that looks like this. This document is called a knowledge file. All it is a simple text file or a markdown file that lives on your computer. And what I have here is a completely fake example profile, but you'll see you have things like your business overview. So the company name, the website, the industry, the niche, the business model, when it was founded, the team size. You have the owner and the founder profile. Who's the owner? Again, if you have clients, you'll want to have a knowledge file for each of your clients. Or if you don't have clients, you still want this for your own business. Even if you have clients, you're still going to want to have one for your own business. So it's going to consist of things like the founder profile, your background, your role, all, the personal references, your core offer. What exactly are you selling? Whether this is a service, whether this is a product, it doesn't matter. Again, this can apply to you in your business, or it can apply to a client. Now, I want to highlight this specific section, which is your guarantee. Some of you guys have guarantees, some of you don't. It doesn't matter. But the reason I'm highlighting it is, as you can see, hit 75,000 per month in 90 days or continue coaching for free until you do. That is a guarantee that this fake company has. And here's why I bring it up, because if we scroll down, you can see, look, we have things like objections, desires, all these different things, pain points. But if we scroll down and we look at the brand, voice, and tone, you can see that there's a list of do's and don'ts. And one of those don'ts are never make guarantees without conditions. So what does that mean? Well, you can see right here, they have a guarantee and it's conditional. Hit $75,000 per month in 90 days or continue coaching for free until you do. This requires a completion of all 12 modules and implementation of the core system. Now, again, this is a completely fake example profile, not a real business. But the reason this is important is because, like I mentioned in here, you need to have the rules that you never break. So because that's stored in the knowledge file that lives within the brain, the AI outputs for this company will never break that rule. So let's open up a fresh Claude Code session and ask it to read the file and tell us 3 things. 1, what is their offer? How do they talk? And what are the rules that I can't break? Now, I want to be extremely clear before I send this off. You can see right here that I'm telling it what exact file to read. That's because this is a completely fake example client. This isn't real. I just made it on my machine, so I'm just telling it to make sure it reads this file and not, for example, my file. But for you, obviously you won't have to do that. You can just ask the questions because you're not going to be making an example client for a YouTube video like I am right now. But let's send this off. Now, while it's loading, you can see that it read that knowledge file and it's listing out, okay, here's the offer, here's how they talk, and here are the rules that you can't break. So what do we see? The no guarantees without conditions. This is extremely crucial because, like I said, you want to make sure all outputs, especially if they're customer or client facing, follow your golden rules that you've given it. Now, I want you to keep in mind that obviously your goal isn't just to ask AI questions about your own business. I sent that message in Claude Code just to demonstrate how it can retain knowledge even if it's in a brand new, completely fresh session. Now, your AI brain allows you to retain context, and context ensures that all of your outputs are relevant. But that doesn't necessarily mean all of them are going to be correct or accurate. That's why the second agent you will need to install is going to be your quality gate. The entire job of the quality gate is to ensure that absolutely nothing leaves your system until it's been checked and verified against your rules or quality standard. So again, your rules can be compliance stuff like not cussing, or simply a bar that you've set of the quality you want all of your outputs to be above. Anything below that quality bar will go back for a revision. So here are some of the things that your quality gate will check. Number 1 will be your brand voice. Number 2, client rules, your original brief. Now, to be clear, this is for whatever task it was supposed to complete. Maybe it's writing ads, maybe it's building a website. Whatever it's doing, it's going to make sure it is in line with the original goal. And number 4 is going to be making sure that no claims are being made that you can't back up. Now, this doesn't have to be a guarantee like the example I just covered. This could simply be for statistics or things that don't even exist. You don't want those things to pop up, again, whether it's on a website, whether it's on a YouTube video script or an Instagram reel script or an email that you're sending out. Whatever it is, you want to make sure that there are no fabricated metrics. And the reason that your quality gate is the second build in your build order is because all of these live in your knowledge file, which is in your company brain. That's the source of truth. So that's what your quality gate is going to be checking against. And the most crucial part about this quality gate is that outputs either pass or they fail. There is no in between. There is no opinions. It either passes or it fails. If it fails, it will continue to rewrite itself, whatever it is, whatever the output is, email, whatever it is. I've given you examples. It will continue to redraft, regenerate, rewrite itself until it passes. So to give you guys another visual demonstration of what this actually looks like in real practice, here is an ad that the AI wrote for this example client. Now it reads completely normal, but if you noticed the headline right here, it says guaranteed income in 90 days, or you keep coaching with us for free. Now, this looks like a guarantee without conditions, therefore it is not compliant, therefore it wouldn't pass the quality gate. So before we actually send this ad out to the client for them to record, again, this is a fake ad, fake client, but you get the point. Before we can actually send it out, we are going to check and make sure that it passed the quality gate. So ad draft V1, let's run the check, and you'll see that there are 2 hard fails on this ad. Here are the hard failures. No income guarantees, guaranteed income, that doesn't pass. And then we have guaranteed results, that also doesn't pass. Now, I want to be explicitly clear, and I'm just in the terminal, which you should not be intimidated by whatsoever. It's the same thing as Claude Code. I'm just in here to show you what this check would look like. You don't actually run this command. You don't actually manually do this. The system or your agents, your OS, your brain will automatically do this before it delivers you the output. I just want to make sure that's clear because I'm showing you just for the visual representation so you can understand and be able to digest it better. But this process, this approval process, all happens behind the scenes before you actually receive that ad script. Now here's a corrected version. As you can see, the promise is conditional and the guarantee actually matches what this example client offers. So again, for demonstration, I'm going to run the check on the version 2 and we can see that there are 0 hard fails, the golden rules pass. So just to reiterate, you do not run this manually. This is just showing you what happens behind the scenes before you actually receive the output. When it doesn't pass the golden rules or doesn't pass the quality gate, it will rewrite itself until it does. And remember, you set these rules. So whatever matters to your business, whatever rules or conditions that you need to make sure you follow or make sure your clients follow, you set those and the AI follows them. So now it knows your business and nothing ships until it's checked by the quality gate. But this last one is extremely important and almost nobody actually builds this, and it's the reason why my AI continues to get better instead of staying the same or degrading. The third and final agent for your foundation is going to be the correction log, or the correction logger. Why is this important? Every correction you make gets logged and applied to the future. So the same mistake will never be made twice. What typically happens in a normal person's AI workflow is they correct the same mistakes every single week, maybe even multiple times per day. And we can't blame the AI solely for this because those corrections aren't logged, they're not stored. If you remember what I said at the beginning of this video, each time you open a new chat, you open a new session, you're talking to a completely different AI. It's a whole stranger and has no clue what you did before. So this third correction logging agent watches every single correction and feedback that you give or that you make and logs it and applies that to the second agent. So it now lives within, whether it's your golden rules, maybe it's your quality gate, now it lives in that second agent so it can refer to that data when your outputs are going through. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a website. And I keep using that as an example, but let's say you have a website and you screenshot it and you say, hey, this isn't good because XYZ. That will now be logged. So the next time you build a website, it will have that as a foundation. And the same thing applies if it is good. Let's say the website comes out great. You screenshot it. Hey, this is great because of XYZ. Now you're reinforcing the positive behavior. You want to condemn negative behavior and you want to reinforce positive behavior. And over time, this learning loop will allow it to continue to get better and better and better. But it can't happen unless these corrections are actually logged. So long story short, with the correction logger, you say it once and it becomes a rule permanently. Okay, so let's get another example going. What I have right here is just a draft of again, these are all examples, right? But let's just say this is the beginning of a newsletter, My newsletter is called The Signal. And here's how it reads, right? Most AI content is written by people who don't build anything, and you can tell whatever. I want you to notice these M dashes, because me specifically, I never write with M dashes. It's like the classic AI writing indicator if you see M dashes. Even though they're real punctuation, obviously we all know that you can tell something's AI if it has M dashes. So one of my golden rules is a hard no M dash rule. So what I'm going to do, because again, this is the draft, and again, this is just an example, what I'm gonna do is pull up the terminal again, and I'm gonna say check signal draft. That's just the name of this file. So let's run that, and you can see there's 2 hard fails, both of which are M dashes. So again, this is not something you are going to manually do. This is something that happens in the background. So you'll never see what I'm looking at right now. You'll never see the draft with the M dashes. Let's say it makes it. It makes that draft while it's loading. It realizes, okay, this has 2 hard failures on the M dash check. So it will rewrite itself, and then the only deliverable or the only output you actually see is the version that passes all of the rules. So in this case, it would be the version that doesn't have the M dashes. So you can see right here on July 20th, I made a correction. And that correction is we never write with M dashes. And this is a hard severity. This is nothing should have M dashes. I made this correction, it was logged, and it never makes that mistake again. Just to keep in mind, these are all behind the scenes. I'm just giving you the demonstration, the visual understanding of what it does look like behind the scenes. For you, this correction log is just gonna be a simple file. You'll just have 1 correction per line, and you just log the corrections as you go. This does not have to be manual whatsoever. This can be done just through conversing with your Claude chat, your Codex chat, whatever it is, as long as you make sure it actually updates that file. If you just talk to it and it doesn't actually update the file, nothing will happen.
Look, these agents aren't flashy by any means, but like I told you, these are the fundamentals. This is the foundation to your entire AI infrastructure for your company. These might not contribute to more revenue today, but later down the line, 100% they will. And most importantly, they take you out of the quality control role that you currently play with AI. And if you don't believe me, look at your past week, or look at this week, or maybe even look at today. How much time do you actually spend not only correcting AI about the same thing multiple different times, but most importantly, when you go into a new session, you have to find all these files, you have to create this master prompt just for it to understand what your business is, who you are, and where you're currently at, and then what you're actually trying to do with the AI. With these 3 agents, you have a persistent memory and understanding of you, your business, and exactly where you are today as it relates to your work in your business. You have a quality gate, so every single output you receive has passed the specific rules and the specific quality standards that you have set forth. And then number 3, you have correction loggings, and this is what allows your agents to self-anneal. This will make your infrastructure better and better over time as you continue to use it. Now, the instinct you might feel after watching all of this, because these are the fundamentals, you might want to get these all built, get them out of the way, and start playing around with all these colorful different brains and dashboards and all these things that you see on Twitter and all these things that you see on Instagram. But please let me tell you, do not rush this. Start with just your brain. Matter of fact, start by just logging and write down, what is your business? What is your offer? Look at that file I showed at the beginning of the video. What's your business? What's your offer? What's your founder? What's their story? What are all the socials? What's the landing page? What are your guarantees? What's your pricing? Who do you serve? What's your ICP? List all of these things down, have that as a North Star document. That's all you need to start. If you start there, that is one huge step forward in the right direction that so many people fail to take because they don't feel like it's actually worth the time. It's not fun, I get it. But what's much worse than building these 3 agents in the wrong order is skipping all of them and going straight to all of the flashy stuff, because I promise you, it's not gonna actually do anything for you. It's not actually going to be automated, and you're gonna spend way more time fixing things or building all of these brand new skills and prompt packs that you find on Instagram, you're not gonna actually be getting real work done. Now, I know that was a lot to take in. I talked about a couple of different things. Maybe all of it was new. Maybe you've heard it before. If it seemed slightly overwhelming, or if you still feel like you lack clarity, do not feel ashamed whatsoever. I have plenty of other videos that you can watch. You can rewatch this video. And if you are a founder who actually wants an OS built for their company, I'd be more than happy to work with you, me and my team. But if you want something actionable, something that you can plug and play right now, it's completely free. I have a SOP library. I call it the systems library. It's just a bunch of SOPs, it's a bunch of content, a bunch of information that you can not only read, but you can also download and upload directly into your Claude, into your ChatGPT, whatever you want to use, and build out the systems that were discussed in this video and many other videos that I have posted. The link to the systems library will be in the description below. Again, it is completely free. I'll be honest, all I want you to do is give me your email so I can send you more valuable information in my newsletter. It's called The Signal. I talk about a bunch of AI updates, talk about a bunch of new tools that we're using across the 75 businesses that we currently work with. That's all you have to pay me for it. That's literally it. I'm just gonna be transparent. I don't want money. I want you to have these for free, and I want to be able to provide you with more value down the line. So I appreciate you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. If you had any questions, comment below and I'll answer them. I answer every single comment, and I will see you in the next video.